really not in a lot of our favor, especially those of you who have families that have been violently fucking separated from one another here at the border, right? And when we say decolonize, we're asking you to fucking change that shit, dude. Like, dude, for one, you understand that the only reason the majority of the people here in El Paso, I've mentioned this before, but it fucking bears repeating, are Americans is because that fucking arbitrary line that we call the border was built 5 minutes this way instead of that way. Because if it had been built just 5 minutes north, fucking an hour north, almost everybody here would be a fucking Mexican citizen, right? And in which case, going back to the whole indigenized process, you fucking would have been socialized in the fucking whatever brainwashing the Mexican people are going through their education systems, right? And you felt a complete different way, right? But since you were born here, you were obviously in a position where you start to realize through our Eurocentric brainwashing that we've undertaken, and having undertaken this indigenization process, that the next inevitable step is to decolonize and start to realize shit that we believe and how unjust it is and how unfair in the interest it is of many people. Again, especially those of us who have families here on the border, when we realize, dude, we're being separated by nothing more than a fucking arbitrary line on the border. We're putting people in not even fucking jail anymore. We're locking them up like fucking animals underneath of a bridge because of this fucking colonial law. And that shit, I mean, dude, again, I don't give a fuck. Citizen of Earth, all that kind of shit. I identify as a fucking infinite and immortal universe expressing itself in fucking the English language, to quote Joe Rogan, right? That shit does not mean anything to me, bro. What side of the fucking fence you were built on? What I do know is that you can't fucking treat people like that, right? And unless we decolonize our minds, we're never going to be able to understand why we can't treat people like that, because the colonization has us believing that the reason we can treat people like that is simply because they're not American, right? So if they're not American, well, who the fuck cares, right? No, dude, like, that's not how that shit works. Oh, because they're not Christian, because they're not whatever. Like, you can treat them however you want because they don't abide by the universal norm that we're attempting to establish. Like, no, dude, that's not right. That's part of the colonization process, and we must work to undo that in order to get to a deeper, better understanding that'll hopefully get us to realize our shared essence as human beings.